I'm here. Who the hell are you? The best hired killer took a family vacation, but even there he is haunted. Hutch treats his wounds with a hot lighter, while FBI agents are sitting in front of him with questions about who is Hutch. And what kind of dog is this? Before Hutch came to them, he lived an ordinary life with his family. From his wife Becky, daughter Sammy, and son Brady. But his work is the complete opposite. Being a mercenary, he eliminates people. Sometimes it takes longer to complete a task, and he does not have time to return home for dinner, which his family does not like. Summer holidays will begin very soon. Hutch promises to spend time with them, although Becca realizes that he is lying and leaves for work. Hutch had an order to. He enters the elevator where the target is located and begins to eliminate everyone. The man in a panic calls for help, but Hutch asks not to do this and shows an alternative way to use the tube. He takes the memory card and leaves, but the bandits were already waiting for him. Hutch hides behind the counter and sees a balloon, which he uses as a grenade. Hutch thought that everything was already over and calmly went down to the parking lot where the new gang was standing. He rips out the wire and uses it as a weapon. Hutch manages to defeat them. However, all these battles did not pass without a trace, and he was also wounded. A little later, he comes to Barber, who is his customer. For this task, he gets $800,000. But this is not a net income, but only the repayment of an existing debt of $30 million. In the past, he burned the money vault of an influential bandit, and now pays for his mistakes. A new mission is on the way, but Hutch remembers the promise to his wife and asks for a break. Barber gives the go-ahead. Already at home, Hutch shows the water park, where they will go with the whole family. Their grandfather David will go with them. All the way they told funny stories and just sang. The family gets to the park and moves into their rooms. And even though everything looks pretty civil, it doesn't make Beck very happy. And then they learn the sad news. The water park, for which they came here, is closed due to an accident. But they are given free food. This awakens childhood memories in Hutch. He was so caught up in the past that he stared at Officer Abel. Sorry, I was thinking. Who didn't like it? A little later, the family goes into a room with machine guns. Hutch wanted to talk to Brady, who was completely out of his mind. He's trying to show off in front of the girls. Brady got a bunch of tickets. He gives half to the girls, and the other half buys toys for his sister. Max approaches him, who thought Brady was hitting on his girlfriend. Brady is not going to tolerate, and sent him, for which Max lynched the bear. A scuffle begins. The guy throws the ball, which Hutch quickly catches. The guard chastises Hutch for the poor upbringing of his son. Becca interrupts them and takes the family away. Before leaving, Sammy picks up a bear. The guard gave a hat. Hutch is also filled with anger, but he restrains himself and leaves. But already on the street, he asks the family to move on. He left his phone at the club. Hutch breaks into the club and attacks the guards. It goes not only to the guards, but also to the visitors who stood up for them. For dessert, he left a few shopaholics. As you like. Behind this case, his family notices him. A moment later, he and his son were sitting in the police station. Becca explains that they are innocent and were just defending themselves. Hutch tells Brady that it was not worth protecting his sister with force, but Brady notices that this is some kind of double standards. Hutch just wants Brady to be the best version of him. Max's father turned out to be White, the local sheriff. Hutch tells what the guard did. After listening to his version, White lets the family go. Although Abel was clearly unhappy with this outcome. Gather our guys. White said not to touch, and I don't give a shit what White said. Already at the hotel, a small quarrel happens between Hutch and Becca. She finds the bag that Hutch brought. Inside was wine from the place of their acquaintance. This pleased Becca, and they reconciled. A new day is coming. While the family was having fun, Hutch saw that the policeman had photographed them for some reason. And an hour later, some types came along with the officer. Hutch sends the family for a ride on the river, and he goes to figure out what the problem is. People enter the other ship, which is why they can't fight. The officer asks Hutch to leave here. The conversation did not go well and a fight begins between them. Calm down. And since the tourists are wearing headphones, they can't hear anything. The bandits turned out to be amateurs and beat each other up. But Hutch did not want to attack the officer and tried to calm him down, which is why he loses a finger. Hey, you bastard! This was the last straw. Hutch goes into combat mode. Even the officer got it. I'm here, hell you are. Already on land, he calls his brother Harry and tells him that this place has changed a lot since they were here. Harry replies that they didn't come here for a vacation. My father was on a mission. All power is bought by bandits. This was confirmed by Barbara. Their boss is Lendina, it's better not to quarrel with her. But the officers are preparing for the transportation of illegal cargo, and White is going to frame Lendina. For this shit, Lendina will be blacklisted by Interpol. Abel got a call from the injured officer saying that Hutch is an unusual person. At the same time, Lendina is playing cards and decided to eliminate the opponent with the dealer. She realized that they were trying to deceive her. Lendina gives the order to eliminate everyone who was in the casino. She got a call from White saying this was the last time they would help her. The debt will be considered repaid, but it does not suit her. This debt cannot be repaid. She calls Abel and reminds him who the real boss is. Their family walks around and can't find Hutch, which is why they return to the room. David also came there, saying that his son would be a little late. In another part of town, Abel caught Max. Hutch comes into their building and starts pouring gasoline on the money. He will blow up the whole room, and Lena Dina's goods will disappear. Or they can come to an agreement and leave the Hutch family alone. Abel gives the go-ahead. Go before I change my mind. Max jumps out of the car, but Hutch just walks away. The truth changes its mind again and returns. Hutch eliminates most of the security using all available methods, including a circular saw. Abel tries to eliminate them, but can't get in. Hutch causes sparks that ignite gasoline. The fire spreads to the barrels, creating an explosion. But the couple had already escaped. Landy is not informed what happened and finds Hutch's family. Abel wanted to explain that Hutch is incredibly dangerous, but Lendina doesn't believe him. Hutch took Max to his family. Becca realizes that he has been dragged into a new case.
And you're my man, so go figure it out.
Then Hutch comes to White. At first, he didn't realize that Hutch had saved his son, but after a couple of blows, he cooled down and offered to drink. He says that Lendina eliminated his father. Since those days, he has been doing this job, but wants to quit it. White allocates weapons and blocks the park. As a former FBI agent, David helps set traps inside the park. Even Harry arrives, and the bike finds weapons in the hut. Closer to night, the bandits arrived at the park. They are offered to surrender. Abel says that they did not agree, and he is immediately eliminated. Mercenaries run into the park and fall into traps. They used not only mines, but also the rides themselves. Hutch eliminates one of the detachments and runs away to the house with mirrors. This was another trap. What the fuck? The number of mercenaries is rapidly decreasing. White slowly makes his way through the balls. The mercenaries didn't quite understand why he was moving like that and stepping on a mine. Still, White was wounded. He hides around the corner, waiting for the bandits to activate a new trap. David had a lot more fun. He has a whole machine gun at his disposal. Weapons. Another part of the bandits found the house where Hutch's family was hiding. They did not take into account that they were protected by Harry and quietly kill each of them. That leaves the captain. Harry breaks the machete, and then in one motion, cuts the gun, sending the captain to the next world. Brady did not stand aside, and eliminated the bandit who managed to enter the house. Hutch came out to Lendina and her guards. They were much stronger and practically eliminated Hutch. But White did not let them do it, attacking the guards. Lendina throws the knife and is about to finish what she started, when suddenly a dart flies into her.
His better half.
Lendina repeats the trick with a knife throw, but Becca knocks him down with a dart and gives him supplements. The couple jumps into the water and David activates all the traps. In reality, the agents receive a call, and they have to release the family, who return to their home and remember their fun trips. This is where the film comes to an end,